All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Crazy Crafter live stream. Thank you for joining us this morning. With me, as always, is my fellow co-host Daniel West. Welcome, Daniel. How you doing, brother?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey. Oh, always a joy. And then our omnipotent floating voice monitoring the chat today, Michael Patterson from Nat One Videos. Welcome, mate. How you doing out there in the ethers?
Doing good. Thanks for having me again. Good to
Oh,
be here.
yeah. Are you gonna actually pay attention to the chat, or are you gonna be playing with that new Proxon?
I am. I've put it down. I'm going to be just watching the chat and bringing questions in for everybody.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for monitoring the chat, brother, and thanks for putting the new toy down for a second.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then our featured guest today, again. Oh my goodness, we've got another mate from across the pond joining us today, Josh Matkin from the Pickle Jar. Welcome, brother.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, man, super thrilled to have you. Thanks for spending yet another few hours of your life this week on YouTube streaming crafting. It's been a busy week for you, brother.
Yeah, it definitely has. Fifth live stream this week. It's definitely been a busy one, but you know I love doing it. So
Well, cheers to you. We're super thrilled to have you here, and looking forward to seeing what we can come up with today. We got some pretty bold, ambitious plans. Before we jump into today's craft, I want to talk to Josh a little bit and get to know a little bit more. I know we've got some folks from the Pickle Jar community here. Welcome to you guys today. Be sure to introduce yourself down in the chat if you haven't done so already, so we can say hello to you. But thanks for joining us today. Josh, tell us a little bit about the Pickle Jar and what the channel's dedicated to, and what tabletop games are you're currently rocking and rolling on.
yeah, sure. So I started the Pickle Jar with my partner, Pirate Queen Pickle, in the chat. A couple of years ago, mainly as something to stop me from going mental when I decided to sort of stop doing theatre for a year or so. And we decided we were just going to do all sorts. We were going to do miniature painting, vlogs, gaming videos, all sorts of stuff. And then I quickly discovered that I really enjoyed doing miniature painting. So it's pretty much been dedicated to that since like the I don't know, for a while now anyway. Nearly a year it's been completely dedicated to miniatures. So now we do one video a week. We do a new video every Saturday, and there are ranged between tutorial videos or just sort of discussion videos about something to do with the miniature hobby, like advice, mainly aimed at sort of beginners to intermediates, people just getting into the hobby, or people that just wanted to try and up the game a bit. And then this year we're planning on doing some terrain bits and pieces, planning on doing some more diorama builds. I've sort of started getting into doing bits and pieces of those. And just anything really. And then we live stream as well. We live stream every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And then every other Sunday morning when I've not got my son. And I would be remiss as well if I didn't mention that I'm not only run my own channel, but I am one of the hosts on the Chilling Wargamers, which is a big deal for me. I'm still in awe that I am part of the team. We live stream every Thursday night at 8 p.m. That's British time. I'm not sure what time that is for you guys. Be like
12 p.m. 12 p.m. for us.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are interested in wargaming, miniatures, painting, anything to do with that, come and check out my channel and check out the Chilling Wargamers.
That'll be a definite stop. That I've yet to hang out with the Chilling Wargamers on Thursday. I'll have to do that upcoming week here. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying. On Wednesday I popped over and hung out with the Pickle Jar on Wednesday, and it was really nice. I'm it's one of the reasons I same hope and aspirations that you have for the Pickle Jar and are pursuing, trying to do the same thing for other fellow tabletop terrain gamers, giving an opportunity to stop in, learn a new technique. But it was lovely just crafting and hanging out. That was a lovely session, and I really enjoyed hanging out with everyone from the Pickle Jar. So if you have not done so, please head on over to the Pickle Jar. Be sure to subscribe to their channel, and it got some really cool stuff. I originally caught wind of the Pickle Jar from his diorama build. The YouTube algorithm has me pegged hardcore, and when you released that Die Hard video, it was like boop, up on my feed, and I was like, "What is this? This is amazing!" And I clicked on it and went gaga over the diorama, and I was like, "Ah, man, we got to get." And then I went down checking out the rest of the channel. I was like, "Ah, we got to get Josh on here. This is too much fun." So.
Well, I'm thrilled that you enjoyed the diorama.
Well, it's the perfect Christmas diorama, is what it is. Like
Thank
you
you.
said, it is the perfect Christmas diorama. I really enjoyed. I don't think we have that video linked, but you can find it over on the Pickle Jar, and maybe we can find the link.
I'm going to link it for you guys.
Perfect.
I'll stick it into the chat.
If I can find it. We'll put the link up there. But did a really good job with the broken glass in that one. That one was really cool. And then all the little blood trails and the effects from this barefoot Bruce Willis character. It was like the perfect mini you found for it too. It was really cool.
I mean, I'd sort of been searching for a few days for the miniature for that one, because I'd got a couple of different ideas on which scene I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was either going to be that or him sort of stood next to the smashed window, the like "Welcome to the party, pal."
Yeah.
And it was just a case of which miniature I could find first, like which pose. And that one just seemed, again, Elston sort of found that. I was looking for ages. I couldn't quite find something that suited. So I were like, "Guys, I need your help. I need a miniature for John McClane." And they were like, "Check this one out from Studio Miniatures. Get it." And I looked and I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect. Got it."
Well, John. Well done, Elston. That was a perfect one. I was. It's pretty cool to see what you can find out there. I would have, for the upcoming dioramas that I'm doing, I'm gonna try to go. I'm trying to design them all. We'll see how long my wife lets me do this before she's like, you can't buy any more digital STL files. But I'm trying to create mine on Hero Forge, and then like do them custom that way, because that's an important piece. Like you said, finding the right miniature for that diorama is one of the bigger challenges of the build. So
that's it. Yeah, you've got to get it right. It's got to look right.
Well, I'm really excited that this is going to be our first piece of Warhammer 40k terrain that we've built on this stream, and I have never played 40k. Daniel has told me about 40k quite a bit, and like I said, I know enough. The primary thing that I know about 40k is that I do not have enough d6 to play. That's what I know about 40k right now. And the fact that I absolutely love every time I go to our local game store, they have a artist who paints. They commission him and he sells his stuff through the store, and all of the armies, the terrain that is built for it. I'm always just like, my jaw drops every time I see it. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I know I would lose my mind going down that rabbit hole and having a blast. But today we're going to try something. Everyone's kind of trying something a little different on the stream today, which will be kind of fun. Daniel, tell us a little bit about what you're going to do for your build today.
So I saw an image of the kit that is getting assembled right now, that Josh is going to work on today, which is something sort of Necron inspired, right? It's like a Tomb World something or other, so I'm going to attempt to design, laser cut, and assemble a similar piece, something that feels sort of like that trapezoidal pyramid Necron motif. I have a tab open with a bunch of different Necron symbols on it. I'm going to see if I can get some of that iconography put in there and see how we do. That's my goal.
That's a bold and ambitious goal. And for those of you that don't that are new to our stream here at the Crazy Crafter, it is an ongoing. It is well known that Danny has a horde of gremlins that are at his disposal underneath his table that do all his work for him, because as you can hear, Danny's, he's designing all these elements. He's gonna cut it and then assemble it all together. So he's a quick build for sure. So the gremlins will be working hard, is what I'm hearing from you today.
We shall see. Yeah. I'm biting off a lot. We'll see if I can chew it.
Nice.
That's where we're at.
Well, that's all right. That's the fun about it. We get to see what we can accomplish in a little bit of time. Josh, tell us a little bit about what your the kit you're working on, and then do you have a game plan for? I know you're assembling it and building it this morning, but I know what are you planning on altering, if anything, on the kit?
So yeah, the kit that I've got, it's an MDF kit from TT Combat that just make a load of different MDF kits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan is you get two of each in the kit. So I'm going to build one and get it sorted today, and then I'm going to be recording me doing all this for another video. But the end goal for it is I've got the kit itself. I've got some texture paint stuff, which I'm going to be putting on, just so that there's a little bit more to it, because otherwise it's just very flat. There's nothing to sort of pick out any of the details or anything. So I'm going to put some texture stuff on that, and then sort of plan out how I'm going to be painting it. And then the end plan is to then add maybe some lights and stuff to the sort of underside or the inside, just so that it's more of a nice like feature terrain piece rather than just a random block, essentially.
I think we had similar mindset, and in my attempt to desolder an LED before the stream, I burned out my little circuit board for it. So I will not probably have lights under mine. So I took one thing off of my super ambitious list. So we oof a boof.
That'll be fun. Like, you could do all sorts of fun stuff in there. You could do the strip LED lights underneath in there that'll like catch a lot of stuff. That'd be cool. What would you guys do out there that are watching the stream? How would you alter, or what would you want to see on your Necron Cyber Monolith, which is, I believe that's what we're building to. These Necron Cyber Monolith is what we're working on. So let us know in the comments what would you build on your Necron Cyber Monolith. I've had this piece of trash essentially, but it's a tone. It's the plastic casing for my toner for my printer. So I love the shape of these. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to do something sci-fi with them one day. And I'm glad I saved them. I've literally had them for like 6 months. So I was like, this is kind of the perfect opportunity. It's a little bit bigger, I think, than the builds that you guys are doing today, but I primed it and I threw a little base coat of kind of like a hammered silver on there, and then I've got a bunch of different stuff, from little bits of styrofoam to some straws here that I'm gonna dip into today. I'm gonna try to add some texture onto it, and then also, I don't know, like maybe play around. I wanted to create that light effect that you guys are talking about, but I want to see if I can create it with some really vibrant paint to go along with it. So we'll see.
Unfold.
Yeah. It's a little bit, I'm probably just gonna work on one, and I like this one. This one's got some cool. I don't know if you guys can see it there in the stream, but this, and I can show you guys up here too. It's got some like spiky elements up here. This plastic mold, and I was like, oh, this will be fun to add some texture to. That'll be fun. That's where we are. This sounds exciting. I'm excited to see where we can get to today. If you guys are planning on working on the same thing out there, let us know. Let us know if you're building your own Cyber Monolith today and how you're going about it. What are some of the processes that you're going through?
Elston Nation says here, Pickle, assemble and paint it within 9 hours.
Easy.
Easy.
We're trying to do it within 2, right? That's
yeah,
what
we're trying to see if we can have a finished product in a couple hours here for us, which, you know, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's all good, but that's part of the fun of it.
Elston Nation, yesterday I did a 12-hour painting challenge with Elston from Elston Nation. He's also one of my fellow hosts on the Chilling Wargamers. And yeah, he's a bit of a speed painting demon.
Ooh.
Is probably how I would describe him, and that's no joke either. So he recently painted like 1,000 and something pounds worth of Necrons.
Oh,
so like 7, right? That's 7 Necrons.
It was like a silly amount of Necrons,
Sure.
and he painted those in a week.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
1,000? How many? So Elson, you'll have to tell us how many hours you spent a day to achieve that. Like how much painting time was that for you? Or if you know, you can tell us too. You can tell us too.
Elston is super just consistent and gets up early and paints every day. And like he's working from home at the moment because of all the COVID and stuff.
Right.
So he's basically spent a lot of time painting that week. But basically, he put a post up of basically got a load of boxes, took a photo of all the stuff he'd bought, and then took a photo of it all built, and then put those two pictures combined, put them on some of the groups on Facebook, and said, "There you go. That was a week ago, and this is this week, like from box to built."
Jeez.
And a load of people commented saying, "Yeah, come back next year, and it'll still be grey." So he was intending on trying to get it finished anyway, but people basically saying, "Yeah, that'll never get painted," sort of spurred him on. And yeah, a week later, he was just like, "And done."
And done. That is nuts.
Well, for that group of Necrons, he's saying between 5 and 8 hours.
5 and 8 hours a day. That is
No, I think to complete the whole set. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't think it's 5 to 8 hours for the full set. Not even Elston is that.
He's not even that superhuman.
No, not even
Okay.
Elston could do that.
Well, now I understand the comment, and I sound like an idiot in the chat.
No.
Oh, well.
I mean, this is
Wouldn't be hard for me to sound like an idiot.
It doesn't matter. You have it's a it's new territory. Like the whole Warhammer community. Again, I tread lightly, and I talked to Josh about this too. Like I know, like I've other friends that I play D&D with that, you know, got it. They were Warhammer players before they were D&D players, and you know. He's like, my buddy is like, don't do it, Colin. He's like, it will consume you, and it's amazing consumption, but man, it's down the down the bank account rabbit hole, down the time rabbit hole, like all those things. And I was like, one day I want to build. One day it would be nice. I'm hoping like that'd be a fun thing to do. Hopefully this year, Danny, would be to like. Try to get a little army, paint it up, and then like come play some Warhammer with you. That'd be.
I've got a couple small armies. At the very least, we could play Kill Team. So
All right.
Kill Team's a good one if you're looking at getting into like 40k and stuff because it's a much smaller scale.
yeah,
Nice.
that's what I was playing before everything stopped. I haven't even touched 9th edition because just I can't do it safely. So
Yeah, that's it. I think I've played more games via Tabletop Simulator than I have in real life
Mm.
since 9th edition came out.
that would not be so bad on the pocketbook, but
Well, yeah, but no, everyone starts out in like 40k, and well, to be fair, any of the Games Workshop games, like I'll just do one army, or like with Blood Bowl, I'll just do one team, and then here I am. I've got 3 armies for 40k. I've got like 7 or 8 different Blood Bowl teams, and I'm one of the more reserved people in the like what Games Workshop, like people that play Games Workshop stuff. Like some of the guys from the Discord and stuff have got like just, oh yeah, I've got like 2,000 points worth of that. Like you can name any race. Like, oh yeah, I've got some of them.
Nice.
Because they just buy everything.
Buy everything. Yeah, it'd be fun. Like I always love, and I love I love all the Warhammer terrain too. Like I've been looking into that and all the research that goes along with that. I love this kind of like is I'm getting the sense, and this is coming from, you know, a non-player. So please, like, as I go along, Danny and Josh and everyone in the chat, let me know. But like, it seems like the world has been torn by these warring factions. Yeah, so everything's kind of like a ruined build almost, and most of the time the terrain is used for line of sight, right, and cover and different elevated positions. Like the terrain component of the game seems, again, like you know, the thing I'm really excited. I was like, man, I want to do more stuff like that. But like, is that kind of the setup, like a war-torn world with all this dilapidated cityscape and different parts of the world?
Pretty much, yeah. Like the tagline for 40k is, in the 41st millennium, there is war. That's all that there is.
And that's what there is. Cool.
Yeah, that's it. The end. Next.
Moving on. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's just really angry because one of the other things that people ask is like, who are the good guys? Like, there are no good guys.
There are no good guys.
There are no good guys in 40k.
Oh man, I'm definitely looking forward to doing a little bit more research and figuring out, because then I got to make the decision. You know, what army do I pick? You know, like where do I start? Where do I begin? I don't know. Maybe
pick what you like.
Say again.
Just find something that you think looks cool and go with it.
I mean the Necron stuff. Like, since I've been looking at that this week, I'm like, that's pretty in the net. I want to be Skynet. That sounds like fun. It's essentially what they are.
Yep, it's basically it.
I wouldn't mind being Skynet.
To be fair, like all the factions are cool. Like a lot of people give a lot of flack to the Tau. Like a lot of people just don't like Tau for no specific reason either. People just, it's just like general consensus that no one likes Tau, and I don't think there's any real reason behind it.
Tau were my first army, and I love them. I love them with all my heart. Like I love the Tau. Those little space communist fish people. I love them. Like they're. But I also picked them up when during Jump Shoot Jump. Right, yeah. So, I can see back then why people really wouldn't like them, but because they kind of cheated. But
that was back in the days where all the armies had like unique rules.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed them.
Now, Danny, you'll have to like jump over. Like, what I saw you popped over and you shared your screen there for a second. What were you working on there? Like, where are you at with your design stage? Like, what's going on?
So, I am very early. I am just sort of pulled up that sort of rough Necron thing. This is the image over here that I'd spoken about of sort of some glyphs. I like these because they don't have closed circle, or only a couple of them have closed circles, which means if I copy a couple of the simpler ones, I should be able to cut them out without needing to do like weird stencil connection stuff.
I see.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
If you have a closed circle, the center falls out. So I found this image, and I'm going to try to replicate some of this iconography and see if I can't make a really simple little thing. We'll see. We'll give it a shot.
Nice.
So, I mean, everyone's got a perspective. We've got Boffnet in here saying Necrons are boring.
Oh, right, yeah. This is this is something. The third and the face of the Chilling Wargamers Spud basically built some Necrons and then decided that he didn't like them and started saying they were boring. And then everybody else in the Discord basically started saying, yeah, Necrons are boring.
No.
But Baphomet's got more of a grudge against him because he lost to me my Necrons on Tabletop Simulator, so he's got a bit more of a grudge.
I see.
See, we got to get used to all your in jokes now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. This is.
But that's all right. We'll catch on to him, and I you know, I'd be a little bitter about the Necrons too if they defeated me. Wouldn't it be crazy? Like, and this is like, I don't know, maybe it does exist, but like, almost if you were like street racing style Warhammer 40k. Follow me on this. Like, if you up the ante, like, I wonder if people ever like, I play, but if I win, I take your army. Like, kind of like Pogs. I don't know if you guys ever played Pogs back in the day, but
wow.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
like,
that would be dangerous.
That would be right. I was like, if you want to up the level of
I might actually start a real war.
Yeah, it might. In the 21st century, there was war because they took armies, like pink slip, like basically battling for pink slips of your Warhammer army. Would any of you do that? Oh, that's the question.
No, absolutely not.
Like, no way. Oh man, that would be high intense profile of the gameplay. I want to share something with you guys on. I don't think he'd be mad at this, Richard. Hopefully, Richard's. I want to share the experience because I thought it was a really cool setup. We had a D&D session on Friday, Josh, and I don't know if if you're familiar with I mean, there's health points, right? Everyone's got health points, right, in D&D, and that's been the primary focus, like buffing your armor class so it's harder to hit. But then also, like, you know, making sure you're maintaining the health points is the primary management of how to continue to survive in the game. But on Friday, our DM introduced wound points to us. So in addition to tracking and managing HP, we had wound points. And we were assigned a specific amount of wound points. And you took so much damage... whenever you took so much damage, or whenever someone rolled above a certain number of your armor class, you could sustain a wound point. And then if it's depending on the amount, those wound points were then they impact you. And when you get below a certain amount of wound points, you have to roll for injuries, and those injuries give you disadvantage on certain stuff. But it was supposed to be a deadlier version of gameplay, and it kind of changed. We'd never, this was a one shot we were playing just to test it all out and see how it went, and it was I don't know, it was a pretty fantastic. It was definitely, it changed the game, and it would totally impact how you would create your character from the beginning of it all. But I thought that was pretty exciting. So you have to let us know out there in the chat. Have you guys ever heard of wound points? Have you guys incorporated wound points into your D&D game before? In 40k, is it just like an HP system to like determine for like, do you have a squad and that squad has X amount of HP? Before they're wide, like how is it controlled in Warhammer?
So in 40k, each model has an amount of wounds, which is basically their hit points. So then, when someone does damage to that model, or like most squads are made up of like 1 wound models or like 2 or 3 wound models, depending on what they are. So then, when someone does damage, their weapon will do a certain amount of damage. So if you've got like I've got hiccups now. If you've got a damage 2 weapon, and it passes the armor test and stuff, that would then take 2 wounds off the target if they don't pass their armor save.
I see.
It sounds really complicated. It's not.
Well, no,
it's
a
really
few times
not.
it all starts to make sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because there's like lots of different things that kind of sound the same, but they do different things. So if you've got a weapon that does 1 attack but 6 damage, and you shoot that into a squad of 6 1-wound models, it will only kill one of them. Because it's one shot that does a lot of damage, but only on one target. Whereas if you've got a weapon that does 6 shots, but only 2 damage each, that would kill all 6 potentially, because it's 6 separate shots. It's weird how it works out. Yeah, we didn't used to have this issue, because basically weapons just did however many wounds and that was it. And you assigned those.
Which one do you like? Which one do you like more? Do you like this new version, or do you like the older version better, Josh?
So I sort of took a break from playing 40k for a while. I played all the way from 3rd edition up to 6th edition, and then I didn't play 7th edition at all, because me and my group had sort of stopped playing. That's when I sold all my old Necrons, which still upsets me. I had like 5,000 points worth of stuff.
Oh wow!
And I sold it all for like stupidly cheap. Basically, because I wasn't using it, I thought someone else will get some use out of it. And then, literally about a month later, all my gaming group contacted me. And they were like, "Have you seen 8th edition's coming out? We're all going to start playing again." And I was just like, "Fantastic!"
You're like, "Great."
So yeah, I've played quite a bit of 8th edition, and then I've only managed to have a couple of games of 9th edition because of COVID and stuff. I've not been able to get together with anyone, but it's good stuff. What I have played is good. It's a lot faster. There's not as much sort of sitting about waiting to work things out and stuff. So it's good. It's fun.
Yeah, that's something that I know a lot of us are excited about. Hopefully this year, definitely not right away, but resuming being able to play in person is going to be a big deal. I'm definitely looking forward to that. They're building a studio. So the game store that we have locally here, and I don't know if I told you this, Daniel, and Michael, but like they're setting up a live stream studio. So similar to the Tabletop Titans, Daniel, that you showed me, that channel, sure. They are going to set up a studio in the gaming store. So if you want to live stream your game or have it recorded, you can basically come into the game store, rent that space, which gives you a tech, and then you can like stream. They want to like stream tournaments and stuff like that. In addition to like almost as if, you know, like a kid's birthday party, as it were. Like you could basically rent the room out with your friends and play Warhammer 40k and stream it if you wanted to. Pretty cool. But that would be a pretty neat thing to once everyone's starting to be meeting and playing again. Be kind of cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Very cool.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I am currently trying to create like a little radar dish thing, and then I'm trying to create a couple little turrets here too. Show me to you guys. So I'm obsessed with these styrofoam balls right now that I can cut in half, and like they're amazing to use for all sorts of stuff. I'm using them still on the Dwarven Cemetery, which, you know, maybe by the time we meet at the end of 2021, I'll be finished with that cemetery, Michael. Like, the problem is I keep finding new things to build on it, and it's a good problem to have. It is a good problem to have. I spent all day yesterday making more, because I'm populating one room, and I'm like, well, now I need to populate every room, and it needs to have a story to go along with it. So I'm excited to keep cracking on that. I'm gonna work a little bit more today on that. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. So
here's a question for you then. Like, yes. When you're building terrain and creating terrain and stuff, do you sort of have a need for the terrain that you then go, I need that for whatever? Or do you just sort of go, I fancy building this, and then you come up with a reason to build it afterwards, or do you just build and put it to one side and that's it?
A bit of both.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, and so I just build what I want to build next. But then there's stuff that you need to build for games as well. You know, so there's standard stuff, scattered terrain. I'm sure it's the same for 40k.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like for 40k, there's so many different types of terrain, like random bits of scattered terrain, like line of sight blocking, all that sort of stuff. And like I say, I'm only just getting to a point where I'm building terrain for my own home, because before now I've always gone to stores or to gaming clubs or whatever for gaming, but it looks like a lot of stuff's not going to be open for a while, so I'm kind of preparing to be able to host at my house, which is why I'm putting these bits and pieces together.
So can we just actually take a closer look at what you're doing at the minute, Josh, and just maybe touch base a little bit on the build itself of what you're actually doing today, and talk about that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, of course. Just bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just putting a layer of glue down.
As you put that layer of glue down, I like to do exactly what Michael said too. Sometimes I just build it to build it, thinking about what am I going to use. Scattered terrain is something that's always going to be useful in game. But I also like building like the little furniture, like little knickknacks. That stone table that I was building on Wednesday stream with you. I'm going to build more. I was like, I don't have like a thing of furniture. Like I need a thing of furniture so I could populate a room if I wanted to. But then I also like reaching out when we were playing in person, Josh. I like reaching out to my DM and saying, hey, if you need something for the build, like for the session, let me know and I'll build it specifically for that. And then I will always try to create it so it can be used for more than just that one session. I'm always thinking like, what can I use more than once, basically.
That's cool.
Just from watching lots of videos, what I've noticed is with 40k, you maybe go for a whole table. They build a whole big terrain table, whereas D&D, you might more have a table map and just lay down mostly scattered terrain and buildings. But there's a lot of guys who like to build big pieces of terrain for 40k, which I find I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know nothing about 40k. And I'm scared to get into it because of the amount of mini painting and all of that. You know, actually, that's a question for you, Josh. Are there people who just in that community who just focus on the terrain, providing terrain for the players, and then other people who are just mini painters?
Absolutely, yeah. I guess it's the same as like I just class the hobby as just anything to do with miniatures. So I guess like even like in 40k. There's people that focus mainly on building terrain. There's people that just focus on building miniatures, converting stuff, like doing kit bashes, like taking bits and pieces from all sorts of kits and then putting them together to build something unique. There's guys that just focus on painting and they don't really play, which has kind of been me for the last couple of years. Not through choice. But yeah, there's all sorts. One of the guys who was part of the network, Immersive World Crafter, he's been away from YouTube for a while, but he's coming back. He does a lot of terrain building for various different systems. There's the same sort of split. You know, some people just like painting, some people like building, some people like playing. You know, you get the people that they don't build or paint their own miniatures. They buy them, they send them away, they come back built and painted, and then they go and play games with them. Wow. And then a month later, when a new best army comes out, they sell them and get the new one.
Whoa!
That's just how some people play. Yeah, that's it. Chase. That's exactly it. Some people that's what they like to do. So you know, I guess you can't fault them if that's what they want to do. I'll swap my camera over so you can see. So this is I've pretty much finished this one. I've got one more wall to put on, but the kit's gone together really nicely.
That's nice.
This is the underneath. So this is the kit itself, and then I've got this texture paint stuff which I'm going to be putting on, trying to leave some of the details on there, but I'm going to put that on over a lot of it so that it's like I say, when I come to paint it and stuff, it's not just flat, which wouldn't be particularly interesting.
What kind of texture paste are you going to throw on it?
It's just this. I think it's quite a thin texture because I didn't want anything too gritty. It's just Darla and Rowney. But it seems like it's quite fine. The actual texture that's on it, it basically looks like just sort of like a thick like PVA style type glue.
I see.
With like a little bit of sand in it or something. So I'm going to put that on. Like I said, I didn't want anything too thick. I didn't want like really, really big grains of sand or anything on it. I thought something like that, and it'll add, because then what I'll do with this is I'll put that on, I'll spray it, and then I'll be, the first couple of things I'll be doing to it is like just dry brushing it, just to get the base color and the texture picked up on, and then I'll be going in with the details.
So this is made out of wood, Josh, yeah?
This is just MDF. So the kit comes, put that up there. The kit comes just on the MDF sheets. And
laser cut.
So I got, yeah. So I wasted like 10 minutes after I opened it, just sat sniffing it. Because everyone loves the smell of laser cut MDF.
Speaking of laser cut MDF, Daniel, I'm watching your screen a little bit as you go along as well. That design looks like it's coming along.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Do you think so? You're going to get that cut today?
Yes, I should be able to. That should not be a problem.
How long does it take to cut that on the Glowforge, Daniel?
It varies. The lasers work fast, right? So, and that's true with like most of like the digital fabricating things that I do. It's almost always the thinking time and the prepping time that takes longer than the cutting time. And so there's definitely always a trade-off. It's like I could absolutely make them like these 5 walls with the laser, but it will take me more time to design it to cut on the laser than it would to actually just like grab a thing and cut it. So you have to like learn your limitations inside of the software, but and just your limitations as a person doing stuff. But I'm gonna try to cut out these little shapes out of my chipboard today, and it's when you're doing things like that my hands just aren't good enough. Like trying to find that, like, this is a perfect thing to try to do with the laser because I just can't be that precise, like, as a human being, or if I did, it would take my entire life to be that precise. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away. Dude,
that's super rad, Daniel. I'm so glad that you decided to bust it out and try just designing your own on there. That sounds like a ton of fun. I think it's gonna look great.
So, I mean, do you mind me, Colin, just going ahead and chatting and asking a few questions and stuff?
Go for it, brother. I'm just assembling my little knickknacks and bobs over here to populate. Go away, brother. Shoot.
So, Josh, do you know of Benji's Hobbies? It's another UK based YouTube channel, painter. So he released a video this week, and he was saying about, rather than buying a whole set of like a whole army and then getting overwhelmed by it and leaving it unpainted, just buy bits as you go along, and then you never have this pile of shame in the corner or something like that. I mean, do you buy a whole army, or do you just go for it and go through it?
Don't listen to anything Benji says. You don't know what he's on about. I'm joking. I'm actually pretty good friends with Benji. We chat on a regular basis.
Okay, cool.
I know everyone in America seems. I think you guys think like everyone in the UK knows everyone.
Well, I mean, I've
But,
been chatting to him too, so I kind of know him a little bit as well.
Yeah, Benji is a great guy. But yeah, so the idea behind that is kind of right. When I was younger, I did do the whole, I would write a list out and then I would buy the entire list. And then it'd all get built quickly and not particularly well. And then I'd play with it. And the issue that you have then is because you can play with it because it's built, it doesn't have to be painted unless you go to tournaments and stuff where they make you paint them. But when I was younger, obviously I wasn't doing that. I was just playing with friends. Because it was all built, I had no incentive then to paint it. Whereas what I do now is I only play with fully painted stuff. I will not play with unpainted stuff. And basically what I kind of do now is, I just buy bits and pieces, and I'll start off with like a small list for an army, like maybe a troops choice and a HQ unit, and then I'll just sort of build up from there, just buy bits and pieces at a time. Mm-hmm. That is probably especially if you've never been into 40k, never done it before. If you're going to start out getting into it, do try and limit how much you buy all in one go to start with, because it is a very slippery slope. Because what you end up doing is what I used to do, where, like I say, you buy a full army, you build it, and then you're playing with it. You don't need to paint it because it's already built, and you can still play with it. So then instead of spending time painting that, you go and buy other stuff and build that, and then that don't get painted, and then you go and buy other stuff and build that, and it don't get painted. So yeah, I would say so.
Are there many painters who don't really play? They just love the hobby of painting minis, and they just get involved with that side of things. And I mean, they've got no interest, and they just don't. I mean, like, I like this character from this army, and I like that character from this army, and I just buy the pieces that I like, and I'm just going to paint them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's I guess it's the same as anything. You've got people, and I think it's not just specific to like I said, like not just specific to 40k. I think there's just people that just like painting in general. So they will pick. I mean, to be fair, I do it quite a lot. I've got loads of stuff that I've got painted that isn't for an army that I'm using or for anything that I'm particularly going to use it for. I've just seen it and gone, that looks cool. I want to paint that. Like the shelf behind me, all the stuff on here, not my Harry Potter Lego, but all the stuff here, it's just random stuff that I've just sort of gone, that looks cool, I'll paint that. So but some of it is for like, let me I'll show you. There we go.
Just while Josh is looking this up, what's your progress like there, Colin?
I'm doing okay. I'll hold it up here. I mean, the folks there on the stream can see I'm kind of still working on all the bits and bobs, but right now this is kind of the top side of it, where I'm creating these little styrofoam like antennas, turrets. This one's kind of cool. I'm taking a straw and I'm gonna make this little. The next step is to glue this little antenna together. So
how to make like a satellite dish?
Yeah,
kind
a
of
little
thing?
satellite dish thing that'll be kind of cool. So, and then I think I'm gonna take some of the piping on this too. What's cool about the straws, and I love this. So when I first started this channel way back when, I futzed around and I tried to turn Pringles. I did some like build tutorials and like just some fun things before it really became dedicated to live streaming. But I did play around with one of those build straws, and the straws look great for piping. So once you paint them up, they're the bendy straws, so you can keep them straight, you can angle it, you can do there's a lot of versatility within them. So I'm just going to add these kind of like as a basing and add some different piping around it too. And then I'm also trying to think of like, can I take some of this Vallejo texture and like where can I add some texture for this piece as well? The thing that I'm also learning too and experimenting with today is the spray paint. It doesn't take. It's like hard. It's a smoother surface. Like I think I should have base coating it with the black, and then maybe I'm kind of regretting I should have taken like an acrylic and gone back over it. so maybe it sticks better. We'll see. Like, I don't know how well it's going to take washes and stuff, so we'll find out.
Yeah, it tends to roll off.
Yeah.
Like, because of the enamel in that paint, it tends to roll off.
Yeah, I think I may end up doing a little bit of the texturing and trying the accents for those highlights that I was telling you about, like the different like blue or green or whatever I decide to go with. I may end up applying texture beforehand and then go from there. We'll see.
So what I was saying, I've got quite a lot of stuff that I've just sort of got that I've just painted for nothing in particular. So I thought I'll show you a few. Bits that I've got. These are just a few of the bits that I've got to hand. So here is an old orc war boss that I painted up.
Oh,
I actually did this for a video last year at some point.
Is that the Assault on Black Reach?
That is, that's the Assault on Black Reach war boss. I basically did a comparison of like the one that I painted years ago versus what I could do now.
A little citadel skull sitting there in the top right shoulder.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, knocking the...
That's sick, man. That looks great.
It looks really cool.
So I did that guy. I painted, and I know I collect Necrons, but I painted this before I started collecting Necrons again. This was for a competition.
Love the color in that.
Yeah, I do too. That looks great. Looks so good.
So again, here, no particular use for that. Just fancied painting it for a competition.
So here's a question, Josh. How many individual little bottles of paint do you own?
Not that many. Not that many. Like, not for a wargamer, no. Not for a wargamer. I have like some MDF trays from Charlie Foxtrot, which is a company over here in the UK. And they hold 26 paints each, and I've got 4 of those. So yeah, not that many for a mini painter. I know people that have got racks and racks and racks of them. Here's one that I painted for a challenge that the Chile Wargamers did. I painted this miniature using 3 colours.
That's nice, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Using dry brushing for those highlights, is that right?
No, that's just blended up. So it depends on the miniature. For my Marines, I do like to blend like nice and slowly. But yeah, I painted this using green, yellow, and red. And then obviously the black base coat.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks. That's all with 3 colors. You say, Josh?
Yeah, the entire thing. We did a challenge where everyone had to paint the same Marine or a Marine using just 3 colors. That was a lot of fun.
That's a cool challenge. I like that.
We've got a couple more. So this is one that I painted recently. I've been trying to work on getting better at painting skin. This is from a friend of mine's company, Pagan Miniatures. He's just done a Kickstarter. Last year he did a Kickstarter, and this is one of the minis from that set.
It looks great.
Do you print them?
No, this is. I've not got a 3D printer. This is one that he sent me over to sort of show off on a stream. But yeah, I painted this guy, and I'm gonna have a couple more of these coming, so I'm gonna use them for some werewolves in Blood Bowl for a necromantic team that I'm gonna do. And then most recent random miniature that I painted, which is one of my favorite, is this guy.
That one's awesome.
I had
by the
so
power
much
of Grey
fun.
Skull.
Yeah, I had so much fun working on this guy. I got him for Christmas. I started him on a live stream with the intention of like painting him over 2 or 3 streams, and I started him on one live stream, and then 2 days later I'd finished him. I didn't even make it to a second live stream.
See that miniature in particular is the evidence that none of us grew up, where we all just remained kids, basically.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I think there is supposed to be a game coming out for this.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one.
I have been slowly gathering STLs to make a Skeletor themed Frostgrave warband, so that I can play Frostgrave with Skeletor and his and Evil Land and Beastman and the whole
nice
whole rogues gallery.
I love.
Okay, so we're actually starting to get a few questions in the chat for Josh specifically.
Okay.
We've got Tina, who is one of our regulars here. She says, what do you recommend I do first, Josh? Paint the parts separately or just assemble and then paint?
It kind of depends on the kit. If it is just... it depends on the kit. Some kits you kind of need to like paint them sub-assembled and then put them together just because it's hard or impossible to get to parts once they're built. So yeah, it kind of depends on what army you're doing. If you're just doing like normal infantry and stuff, you should be fine assembling those and painting them. It's only really for like your bigger kits generally and like vehicles and stuff that you would need to start painting those before you put them together, because they have so many different layers going over the top of each other. It then becomes hard to
get into the cracks and stuff.
Yeah. But again, it's not essential. You can get away with so much by giving everything like a black base coat and just leaving the dark areas. I can see she put in the chat Necrons and Space Marines. You should be fine assembling those and then painting them once they're assembled. So I can show off some. Oh, I forgot to show this actually.
Show them.
I'll get some Necrons out later, but I wanted to show you guys this because this is actually one of the dioramas I did last year. Just let me get my camera thing.
Just while Josh is looking for that, a quick question for Colin.
Yeah.
Are we going to show some viewers builds today?
I definitely dropped the ball this week on asking for viewership stuff. I don't have anything prepared. I know Tina shared some work in progress stuff on Facebook today or within the last 24 hours. If you want to send it to me, just message it to me right now on Facebook, and I can throw it together.
I want to send you stuff that's relevant to today's stream. So I have sent you a build that Tina did. It's one that she did for her local game store.
Oh, cool.
I think it was for their opening day. It was some Warhammer terrain that she built. So Tina is one of our regulars, and she doesn't play yet, but she's building stuff for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
She's also a pretty cool person. So
yeah,
super talented.
Super talented. Super talented. I'm anxious to see when your guys' build and the collaboration comes together. That then we'll have her on here so she can share with us how we created that. That's going to be great.
It's coming along now that I've got the procs on. That's going to start taking shape very soon.
Nice.
Some cool ideas that Tina has fed my way. She doesn't want to really be on camera with it, so she's kind of asked me to. Exactly, she's asking me to do it instead, so I'm happy to do it. So,
this is something that I put together again just for a competition at my local store. It was just a miniature that was for a competition, but I wanted him to be on a nice big fancy base. So.
That looks awesome, Josh.
Yeah,
is that
cork? Oh. Sorry, is that cork you're using for the base?
Yeah, there's just lots of bits and pieces of cork chopped up, and
cork is amazing.
I didn't do any texture stuff on top of this because I'd not. It was like a first attempt, so there's a lot of stuff that I would do differently now, but I'm quite happy with it, the sides of it at least.
So in the pool bit is what have you done for the I'm not going to say water because that doesn't look like water, that looks like more like toxic waste or something.
So I basically just painted. I just did a lot of very wet blending. I put like a dark base coat of green down and then started swirling in lighter and lighter greens to make the two sort of patches where it's brighter, because I knew that I was going to have like some hands coming up out of it. So I just did that, painted it, and then put the hands in place, and then put the resin in over the top to hold those, and the green sort of glows up through it.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yep.
That's a fun one. And you said that was for a that one was for a competition, Josh?
My local store, well, not anymore because obviously they're closed at the moment,
right.
But back before the end of the world, they did competitions. They did competitions like every month. There'd be a different painting competition with a different theme. So a lot of the stuff that I've got that's just random bits and pieces is all from like the competitions, or like I said, just models that I've seen that I think that looks cool and I'll paint it.
Looks awesome, Mr. Pickle. That's from the Hobby Corner.
That's Hobby Corner Kev.
Just another. Do you zenithal highlight? I don't even know what that is.
Zenithal highlighting is basically where it's something that you generally would do with an airbrush. You can do it with a rattle can, spray can.
Yep.
But generally you do it with an airbrush because it's.
I think easier. I know what it is now. You explain it. You do it better than me. Sorry.
You'd put a dark base cut down, like a black generally, or a grey, and then you would then do what's called a zenithal highlight, which is a spray from above of a lighter colour, either from above or from like a 45-degree angle. And what that does is it'll colour the top parts of the model, or the top edges and the top half, in the lighter colour, but it'll leave the underneath parts darker. Now you can do this if you're planning on painting, like if you're painting using contrast paints or something like that. Zenithal highlights are really good because the paint's slightly like translucent anyway. So what it does is it's brighter on the bright parts and then darker on the dark parts, obviously. So you can use it to get some really nice like shadow and highlights and stuff, or you can just use it so that you can see where the shadows and highlights should go, depending on what sort of way you want to paint. Now I don't have an airbrush. I still paint everything by just brush.
I've kind of seen people using these techniques. I'm a fan of dry brushing. Like, I mean, obviously I'm more terrain sort of person. I do want to get into the mini painting, but I've been curious about whenever you do something like zenithal painting or whatever, you're kind of forcing the perspective, you're kind of forcing the source of light and stuff. And if you have a mini that has a lot of natural shadows in it, is it not better in some ways to have a more even balance over it so that I don't know.
Do you know
what I'm trying to say?
It's the same argument that I have, and it's the same argument that I have with people when they do when they paint stuff non-metallic metal. So when they paint it to look like it's metal and shiny, but without using metallic paints, which like the actual technique itself is amazing. Like I still have, well, to be fair, I've never attempted it because I've always sort of looked at stuff and gone, nope, that's too much for me.
Right.
But the thing that I have with it is it's a fantastic technique and it's impressive to be able to do, but it only looks good from the direction that it's intended to be looked at from. Like if you look at it from a different direction, it won't look right because the reflections won't be right for that angle.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's the same sort of thing. Now, what I tend to do is I tend to do I put a base. I've sprayed everything black. I do a base coat and then I highlight up quite a lot. I'll grab some of my stuff out the cabinet shortly. Some of my actual army stuff, but I paint stuff quite bright is my style. I like nice bright color schemes. My salamanders in particular are just like hurt your eyes to look at. They're that bright. So I don't tend to. I have like a darker area, like on the underneath of arms and underneath areas and stuff. But I would always say I'd always leave natural shadows in if they've got a lot of stuff that is recessed or covered up with stuff. Just let the natural shadows do the work because that's kind of they do it for you.
I've got a feeling that that would be my preference. Like, I'm only going to be getting into mini painting. I've like painted 2 minis in my whole life, but this year is like 2021. I'm going to start getting into it a bit more. So another quick question for you here, Josh, from Sonder, one of our regulars. Do you use minis from different companies / games for other games, like 40k minis for D&D or so on?
Yeah, well, little bits and pieces. If I see something that fits for something else that I want to do, then I will just use it. So, like my Frostgrave warband, all the basic stuff like the thugs and stuff like that, they're all Frostgrave minis. But then my wizards, I've got some knights, my warhound, and some other bits and pieces. They are all from a company called what are they called now? I can't remember the name of the company. The range is called Medieval Mayhem, and they are all some of them are from Medieval Mayhem, and they are basically Monty Python and the Holy Grail miniatures.
Excellent.
So I've got a Sir Robin, I've got a Black Knight, both fully formed and dismembered, and I've got those, and I've got all Sir Robin's minstrels.
Brilliant.
And then for my wizard and his apprentice and my warhound, the 3 miniatures that I use for those are Discworld miniatures. So I have a Rincewind, I have an apprentice, and then the warhound that I've got is the luggage from the Discworld book series. Just because I like the look of them.
Big fan of Terry Pratchett myself, to be honest. And then a follow-up question to that is from Sondra again, is painting eyes, do you do it or not? Like, I mean, some mini painters, they just they don't bother with painting the eyes. Other people spend a lot of time, trying to just get that one little dot in the middle. Like, what's your opinion?
So I'm gonna give you 2 different answers now. So I would say it depends on the miniature. If they've got a really defined eye in their head, like on the model, it's like clearly defined and stuff, I would paint it, even if it's just put in a grey and then a bit of a white and then a black for the center. Then yes, I would paint them. If it's not clearly defined, like if you can't tell where the eye is and where the area around the eye is, I would just shade it in a slightly darker color to the skin so that you can see that it's different, but it's not. You don't have to actually paint the eye. Now, the second answer that I'm going to give is that I paint Space Marines that always have helmets on, like purposefully always have helmets on, because then I can paint the eye lenses on their helmets fine because they're nice and clearly defined. I don't have to mess about painting eyes. And I paint Necrons that just have a green glow for their eyes. So that's how I cheat and get around having to do that. Because I painted yesterday, I painted a Dark Elf Blood Bowl team, and I had to paint the eyes on those. And there are a couple of them that are slightly iffy.
I've seen a few minis where the whole mini looks absolutely amazing, and then all of a sudden they're like cross-eyed.
You're looking at my minis. Yeah. You must be looking at my stock because that's what my.
Well, I wasn't going to say Colin, but yeah, that is true.
that's the issue. You can spend like hours painting a mini to like perfection, and then you get to the eyes and like a quick slit.
I'm gonna get it. It comes from I kind of I painted it as a joke, but it's kind of not a joke because this is me trying to do eyes. I'll go get him. He's right over here, and then everyone can have a good laugh. I'll be right back.
Well, actually,
go on.
No, I was just going to say that Colin's first video ever actually was our second video. I think was aggressive eye contact. It's just a little funny skit that he did about painting eyes. It's quite hilarious. So go and check that out if you haven't seen it, guys. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I will when I go and get some stuff out of the cabinet in a minute, I'll pick up the apprentice that I use for my Frostgrave. I'll pick up the Rincewind model, that I use for Frostgrave, because I purposefully painted his eyes like boz-eyed.
Oh right, you
like
say
on purpose because well no, I actually did do it on purpose because the eyes are like so bulgy defined, and because it's Rincewind and he don't know what he's doing, I thought it'd be funny for him to sort of have like.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show us that one for sure, man.
I'll grab it when I get some of the Marines and Necrons. In fact, I'll go and grab those now while I'm waiting for that to dry.
I don't know.
While he's grabbing that, Colin, I was just saying, I don't know if you could hear me. I was just saying about your second video that you posted up, aggressive eye contact.
Yeah.
That was a good video, man.
Thanks. That's what that one was all about. I'm trying to get this to focus in. It's pretty small.
Why don't you put it in front of the other camera?
Yeah, I can try that. Let me see here. Let me refocus.
The one for your face.
Let's see. Let's see if this guy comes through. It's hard to see him.
Go back a little bit. Slow. Yeah, it's trying to focus on your face. That's the problem. Is the viewfinders.
I wonder if it gets him. Oh, he's got the worst bug eyes ever. It's so bad. Anyway, I mean, if you can see how white the pupils are, it's bug-eyed. As we're assembling stuff for the slideshow, I'll take a picture of this little dude and put it in there so you guys can see my brilliant eyes. Because
I'm starting to getting into this mini painting thing, I'm starting to rev myself up to get into mini painting. I have basically already decided I am not doing eyes.
You should. They make a big difference, and you know who would be a really good person to pick the brain about painting eyes is Chris Fort. My buddy Chris he's tried to help me, but I need more practice. And I think when he does his eyes, like if you go to his Etsy store and you look at the eyes that he creates, you'll want to paint eyes, dude. They look good, man. I like the eyes.
I was gonna say on the models that were my eyes worked out, they're some of my favorite models.
Yeah.
Like
1,000%.
And it's been hit or miss on several of them over the years. But the ones where it lands, the ones like it's like, wow, my favorite mini that I keep next to me all the time, I probably keep him there because his eyes turned out the best. Like
Yeah. 1,000%.
But if you've got an entire batch, if you've got an entire platoon of Grey Knights or Marines or whatever, you don't want one like Sergeant Derpy eye like making you feel bad about your whole
Sergeant Derpy eye. That would be me. I'd have the derpy-eyed army for sure. It's definitely. I'll send it to. We're talking about eyes, Josh. I'll send it in the thread here so you can see. You can see the gloriousness. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Look at these guys.
It just seems like such a. Like I was just saying, Josh, before you came back there, that I don't think I'm going to be painting eyes whenever I come to painting my minis, because you paint this glorious mini. All the colors are great. The blending's awesome. You get all the way to the eyes, and then you just F it up. Like, you know what I mean? And it's, that is literally my worst nightmare right there.
That's the constant fear for me all the time. Not just with eyes. Like everything I do on miniatures, like even after all this time, I'm still just like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've got a bit of a selection of things to show you. So I've got some of my Necrons and some of my Marines, because Tina that's mentioned that she's looking at painting some. So I thought I'd grab some of them, and you can see, like, when I say I like painting stuff bright, this will give you a bit of an idea. And then I've got a couple of other just random bits that from my Frostgrave stuff that I thought I'd show you. So I'll just switch over. So what do you want to look at first?
Bring it.
Yeah, start. Yeah, let's look at. Well, those are great. Like, let's take a look at I want to see the ones that are popping there on the right with the green. Let's see those.
Yeah, so they're my salamanders.
Yeah.
So these are from the box set. I think that's got they're from the box set with the Marines and the Necrons in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they look great. I love.
Can you hold it a bit closer?
I love those bright colors, Josh.
Yeah, there we go. That's really cool.
Dude.
I love the purple end on the gun. That's really. I love purple and green as a combination. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love doing my heat bloom on the metal. I did the same thing on the bike as well, like on the exhaust.
Oh, that looks wicked.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Sick, as they say.
Yeah.
As the children say, sick.
That sword is kick-ass as well. That is awesome.
So cool.
Can you hold it up a little bit and show us the base a little bit there?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Nice. And the sword and the light really make that. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sword is based on a tutorial that I did a while back for like a lava sword. Same as these guys. These use the similar sort of thing, but not quite as bright as that.
Can we see the shield on that one?
Yeah. The shield. To be fair, the shield on this one's pretty boring.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the detail on that is great. So, just holding that shield up, which colors do you paint first? What order would you paint that shield in?
So I work from sort of the deepest part of a model upwards. So for that, I would paint all the black. Then I would do the bronze around the trim, and then I'd do the silver, and then I'd do the skulls in the middle.
Okay. So, like, yeah, with the skulls, I would have thought that would have been earlier in case you end up painting some of the silver part.
Because of how I paint them. So the skulls, basically, anytime I have to paint bone at all, I use contrast paint, because there's a contrast paint that Games Workshop did that is just perfect. You put a base color down, and then you put that over the top, and it goes into all the recesses and shades those, but then colors the higher up parts of whatever you're painting in the right color. So it's hard to mess anything else up. It wouldn't go over the top of the silver because it's quite thin paint. This is a guy that I painted beginning of last year, actually. This guy's a while ago.
Nice. His cloak is awesome as well. Can I just see his cloak?
Oh yeah. Oh dude.
That's cool. So just before you show your next mini, you mentioned not necessarily everyone watching right now is a mini painter. So talk about contrast paint maybe a little bit.
Yeah, contrast paint is. I'll just quickly grab some because it's easy for me to show it rather than just talking about it. So if you grab that, and I'll grab. Right. So if you've got normal paint that you might have from Games Workshop or whatever manufacturer, it will. You get it out the tub, and it looks like this. And you put it on, and you do whatever you're doing with it, and it's that sort of consistency, and it either covers or it doesn't. Contrast paints are like this, or not when they're shaken up. But contrast paints are designed. You basically put a light base coat down, like a white or a cream. I tend to use cream for whenever I'm using them, just because it gives a nicer turn. And you basically put the contrast paint on, and what it does is it goes into the recesses and shades all the recessed areas, but then leaves the highlighted areas or the higher up areas. It sort of flows off those, but just tints them. So it essentially gives you your base coat, your shades, and your highlights in one go. Now, it doesn't work like that completely. It's when Games Workshop first brought it out, they kind of marketed it as you can do whatever you want. Like you can use contrast paint to get your armies up to like a tabletop standard, but it's not like a magic. You can suddenly paint amazing paint. It is just paint, and you just use it the same as you'd use any other paint. It's just another tool that you can use in your arsenal. So the green that I've done on my salamanders, that is a cream primer, like base coat, and then a green contrast paint over the top. And then I've highlighted up from there using like a bright green and then a bright green mixed with a yellow. And that's how I've done all the green armor on these guys, is using contrast paint. And the blades the blades on my Necrons as well is done using contrast paint.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question that you asked there, Michael, because I know I've contrast paint, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't going how I wanted it to go on here. Like I definitely misused it when I first tried to apply it to a mini. But
I mentioned my Buzz-eyed wizard.
Yes. There. He's looks great. I love it.
You weren't joking.
No.
So, Colin, you sent me a photo, or you sent a photo to the Facebook group there of your boss-eyed archer.
I did.
So maybe later, if you're going to share photos, share that as well.
I'll throw it up there. If you snap a photo of your Buzz-eyed wizard there, we'll get it up there. We'll get it up there in the. We'll do a little bit of a.
Did we have a look at all of these minis yet?
Yeah, sure. So these are some of the Necrons that I was working on last year. It's been nice getting back into Necrons.
Oh, so just noticing, or maybe it's just the camera, but you've got a little bit of the red paint on your grass tufts there as well.
The grass tufts, they are just that colour.
Okay, right.
That is just, they're from Gamer Grass. They are just like neon. So there's like the fire red ones, there's the pink ones, they do blue ones as well, which I've got, which I've used for some other stuff.
Sorry to keep making you go back, but can I have a look at the cable on the back of that one?
Yeah.
I really like that green tubing that goes alongside the metal part on the cable. That's really detailed painting, man.
So yeah, all I did with that was just sort of pre-shaded some areas with a normal paint, and then I used a Tesseract glow paint, which is just a really, really, really bright green paint. Like, I'll show it. Like super, super bright. I use that a lot on my Necrons. These are some of just the normal warriors. Just the normal infantry.
Dude, those look amazing. I love all the detail that you put on the rifles and the guns and the swords that they're carrying. All that detail is really, really cool, Josh. It looks really good.
It's I never used to, and I always used to sort of just rush painting just so that they got some color on them and they were out there and done. But like in more recent years, like I enjoy painting like quite a lot, and I want my stuff to look nice when it's on the table, and it does now. So I mentioned that I'd got some Monty Python stuff, so here's my Sir Robin.
I fart in your general direction.
That's my Sir Robin. I didn't actually pick up the Black Knight. I should have picked him up as well and brought him over. And then if any got any Borderlands fans.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he looks great. What's his name again? Gosh darn, I forget his name.
It's Claptrap.
Claptrap. That's right. He fits right in with the Warhammer world.
Yeah, definitely.
He totally does.
So yeah, that's just a small selection of stuff from the cabinet. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I like to paint nice bright colours. I'm not one for painting too dark and dingy. Which is ironic because the 40k universe is supposed to be grim, dark, and dirty and knackered, and I'm like, everything's super bright.
so maybe neon colored armor is like a big target on your back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. A lot of people tend to paint everything in like very similar styles. Like, you know, and this is not a criticism on anyone because obviously everyone paints to their own whatever they want to do. But you know, I go through Instagram and Facebook groups and stuff, and you see everything, and everything kind of everything looks nice, but it's painted to the same style, to the same level, in the same way. So whenever I see anyone that paints anything like either way to one extreme or the other, like either really, really bright or like properly grim, dark, grimy and stuff, then that stands out for me, and that's kind of what I like to try and do. I like to paint stuff nice and bright. It stands out a little bit more, especially when you're on the table as well. Like people will remember the army that crushes them.
It's a weird looking one. It was a really bright one.
It was the super bright one. I couldn't see my dice because it was that bright.
It's all tactics. It's all tactics.
So I know in the mini painting world that they have like various mini painting competitions and awards for the level of your painting, and there's some guys that are just like ridiculously good at it. Like, are there any like particular painters that you're a massive fan of that you kind of like religiously pay attention to their work, kind of thing?
So I kind of yes and no. There's a lot of people that I like to watch on YouTube, and it's probably not the stuff that gets shouted out a lot. Like I don't watch the super mega technical painters purely because I've got enough things in my life that depress me already, so I don't need to look at someone painting something to a standard that I'll never reach to upset me even more. But no, there's a guy on YouTube. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I think it's Juan Hidalgo or something. But he paints. He does a lot of painting tutorials, and he exclusively uses contrast paints. But he uses them like completely how they're not intended to be used. Like he just uses them as glazes, and the amount of time he must spend painting like one model, but up to such a high standard, that you look at it and think, I can't believe that's painted just with contrast paints.
You just read that comment.
I have, yeah. I just saw it pop up.
I don't have to read that out to you then.
No, that's Richard Smith. He's one of the guys from our community. Bless him. So yeah, I like to follow him. I like his stuff, and then to be honest, I like just sort of scrolling through Instagram, and I feel bad that I can't particularly call any individual people out. But I follow quite a lot of people on Instagram that create some absolutely fantastic looking stuff, and they're not like some of the big names that people would normally shout out. Like, because I don't follow a lot of the bigger people just because they're so far away from where I'm at, that it doesn't even sort of register on the same. I'm just like, yeah, that's just another league completely.
I think everyone has that problem going on in their head, though. Like looking at other people and thinking that it's better and not realizing the quality of their own work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I still don't rate my own work as much as like other people's. I think everyone just has that, I guess.
I think it's good to stay that way, to be honest. Like, because that way you're always going to just get better and better.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, yeah. If you sort of stay humble, in it, it's the, don't let any, don't let it go to your head.
Mm-hmm. There was a comment there that I didn't quite understand in the chat from Damien over at the Cave of Crafting. Something about, I have to scroll up because it was a minute ago. Sorry. Oh, yeah. What is the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? What does that mean?
An unladen swallow. Yeah, it's a quote from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, well, there you go. Duh, not paying attention.
So, like, fun facts, when we were talking the other day, Colin, and we were talking about, like, theatre and stuff, one of the shows that the theatre group that I'm involved with did a few years ago was Spamalot,
Awesome.
the Holy Grail musical. And
Awesome.
the reason that I have the Sir Robin miniature is because that got bought for me because I played Sir Robin.
That
is the
fantastic.
single greatest achievement of my life.
I mean,
and I've got a son.
that show is amazing, and then also like being able to play it, like that's such a fun show to do. And then I hashtag spoiler alerts, but I was supposed to I don't know if you're familiar with the play called She Kills Monsters, Josh. I know Danny's probably heard it before.
I think they made a film of that recently.
No, it's
No?
I need to send it to you. If you've not read it, I have a PDF of the script I can send to both you, Josh, and Michael. But it's a play. It's a play that revolves around Dungeons and Dragons in the mid-90s in Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
That sounds amazing.
But I was supposed to direct it. Our theater complex, where one of the universities I teach was opening up this brand new remodeled theater complex, and She Kills Monsters was going to be the show. I was going to direct. Amy Root, who is in the chat here, was going to come out. I was going to bring her out, and she was going to fight direct it. It was going to be an insane show. And one of the things I was going to do for the cast members, and I'll do it eventually whenever I do the show, but I was going to paint, like every one of the cast members was going to I was going to print out their mini and like make them a mini and paint it for them
Nice.
as a gift at the end, which would have been, that would be, depending on how big the cast is, that's a lot of minis. That is a lot of minis that I'd be like, cool, I've cast the show, so I'm simultaneously going to be directing it, but have to start painting the minis in the 6-week process of the show leading up to the opening night. So, yeah.
Go on.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I've just sent you over a photo from the a stage, like a promo photo that was taken on the stage in full costume.
Careful, it's gonna end up on the stream here in a second. I'm gonna put it up there. It's going. If you're okay with me sharing it.
It's absolutely fine.
Oh, love it.
Nice one. Good man.
And the lady on my right hand, well, as you're looking, so on my left hand side, but as you're looking at it on the right hand side, that is Pirate Queen Pickle. That is my better half.
That's a nice little set going on behind you guys as well.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. I gotta see.
That show was amazing to do. I've always been a massive Monty Python fan, and getting to do that show, play that part, was absolutely fantastic. It was great.
So, just to segue slightly, Daniel's looking a little bit comfortable there. That might mean that he's all finished up here or something like that.
He posted. He said he can't have his mic on because the laser cutter's too loud.
So the laser cutter's going. That's why he's got nothing to do. I understand.
Oh my gosh, this is an amazing. Look at you. I'm looking at the picture from the show. This looks amazing. Look at that, dude.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love the chicken. The chicken on his tunic. The chicken on his tunic.
The shield was painted. I've got my shield in that photo actually. Don't think I do. Oh, I do. Yeah. the chicken on the shield and the chicken on the tunic. Actually,
It's so cool.
Wendy made all that.
Oh, bravo, Wendy! It looks great.
Yeah, she's the actual talented one.
That's so often the way. Like my wife is also the talented one, but I'm the one who gets to do it, and she acquiesces to my hobbies.
I'm going
So
this. You're talking about the bright painting. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but I'm hitting up the this blue, trying to hit this blue on these turrets to give them a little pop of color on this thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like this. It's like a very vibrant, like neon blue. I love this blue.
Have you finished off building that thing, Josh?
It's built. Yeah, I'm just sort of waiting for the glue to be 100% dry, and then I'm sort of debating how to apply this texture paint. I need to move these models off my mat actually.
I'm just going to check in with the chat and see what's going on. See. Chris Fort has joined the chat from
Oh, what's up, Chris Fort?
another fellow mini painter.
Yeah, you should definitely check him out on Instagram, Josh, Might and Magic brand. My buddy, he is literally my next door neighbor. But he's part of the D&D group, and he's a really talented graphic designer, and he owns his own clothing company. It's an outdoor clothing company, but in addition to that, he created this off-brand, this other brand that is dedicated to D&D. So he paints miniatures, and he's done some commissions, and he's done some mini painting, but he also has designed some really cool D&D shirts on there.
Oh.
But like, yeah, as far as like, I really dig all his style of mini painting. He does a lot of really cool stuff with lighting. So like if there's fire, like, or something that's below, or a glowing sword or emanating, he's done some really cool lighting. His lighting and the shading that he's able to achieve in his paints. His painting's pretty good.
What's the name?
Might and Magic brand on Instagram.
We'll send a link in the Facebook group in a bit so you can find it.
Got it.
So a general question from Sonder again. So he's been pondering about getting himself a 3D printer, but he fears that reaching the break-even point will demand a hell of a lot of printing.
Oh.
It depends what you...
Yeah.
Go on.
No, you go on. You go for it. You go for it, brother.
I would say it depends on how much the break-even point, I'm assuming, would be... He's looking at it in a sense of like how much the printer costs, but I think you've got it. I don't think it'd take that much printing really.
No.
Like resin doesn't cost anywhere near as much as it would to buy like
Minis.
Yeah.
terrain or minis or whatever.
Correct.
And again, the STL files are fairly cheap.
Thingiverse is really great resource, and then Duncan Luca from I gotta find out. Does that name something? He's a UK based 3D model maker, and he releases free. Like he just has free STLs. Like all you have to do is sign up for his newsletter. Be like, hey, this is my new thing this month, and his STL files are gorgeous, and they're free. Like it's just like free minis from this dude, and he's got like a bunch of them, and then he rotates them out there, but he's got like goblins. He's got a little bit of everything on there, and I don't know. We were lucky. Three of us went in on buying one a little over a year and a half ago, and we've been really happy with it so far. It's pretty cool.
There's a couple of the guys in the group have 3D printers, and one of the guys that I sort of follow and check out, he does a Patreon where he basically releases like X amount of miniatures per month. and he's actually got a Kickstarter coming up soon. That's Lion Tower Miniatures.
Oh, nice.
Some of his stuff is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be painting some on a stream some point in the near-ish future. I'm just sort of waiting for them to arrive. He's printing me some stuff and sending it me. But yeah, he's started doing stuff that's actually might be of use for you guys with doing the D&D and stuff. He started doing a range of things like level up miniatures. I can't remember what the proper name for the series is that he's doing, but he will have a model, and you'll have like a basic version and then a slightly more advanced version that's like in a different pose with some more weapons and a bit more armor, and then you have like the third level version. So you can you get them, and then you print out like as which one you want, and there's like different heads you can put on and different weapons and stuff, which is like really cool from a point like a D&D or like role playing point of view. That's some of the ones that he's sending me. He's sending me some the third level for each of the rogues. But the third level is a male and a female version are essentially just pirates, like the big cool pirate hat and the big curts and stuff.
Amy Root will be happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of pirates, so I'm looking forward to painting those.
You're talking about the pirates, like they'll be super fun to paint. Amy will have to post up. You should share the link. For Thursday, Amy is another. So one of my dear friends, one of my best friends, is another theater collaborator and another very talented teacher and fight director, and she can add playwright to that now. She wrote a play, and she's been devising it all throughout the quarantine, and it's been workshopped numerous times. But that is actually. Something that is going to be up and available. I think it's available for everyone to check out. Yes, Amy? Or is that something you don't want to share in the stream with everyone? I totally think you should, though. But if it's going to be workshopped, and it's going to be up on YouTube to view this coming week. And there may be a small cameo from someone that you all know in that very small cameo.
I'm just looking at those pirate miniatures that Josh sent through to our Facebook group. Yeah, so cool, man. Super
cool. I'm going through right now, and I'm gonna kind of get this slideshow ready to go for us here, so we'll be able to check out all this awesome work that everyone sent and has been working this week.
So just while we're on the topic, Josh mentioned earlier that you don't have a 3D printer. Is it something you're going to consider getting, or are you just?
It's something that I've kind of said this year. Like I'd kind of planned on looking at getting one last year, but then like with COVID and stuff, I was off, like having to be off work quite a lot last year. So like money wasn't where I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I've said this year I would like to finally get a 3D printer, get an airbrush, and look at some of these other bits and pieces that people seem to do quite a lot of at the moment. And because hopefully this year we'll be able to start meeting up and again, I'll be able to start getting together and doing some more role playing stuff, because I used to play D&D quite a lot. With my group, and that's something that I've really missed this year, is getting together and gaming and stuff. So having the ability to 3D print bits and pieces for like D&D sessions or role playing sessions and stuff, yeah, it's something I'm definitely looking into it this year. I might be able to source one fairly cheap. I think a friend of mine is maybe selling an old one of his. So I might be able to pick something up just to sort of get to grips with it and learn how to use it before I look at getting something a bit more expensive.
I've got a feeling that if I had one, I would literally never stop printing.
Yeah, that's kind of the worry that I've got.
So it looks like Daniel has finished his laser cutting there. Do you want to just update us a little bit, Daniel?
And I can talk.
Yay!
Yeah, just pull the last one out. So I've finished cutting some pieces. I'm gonna try to do some assembly really quick and see what we can make of it. So there's a, I don't know if that's gonna.
Ooh.
Looks awesome. A bit,
Dude.
just down a little, just down a tad. Yeah, there
That
we
looks
go.
really
Look
cool.
at that. That's awesome,
Yeah.
Danny.
So I'm seeing if we can make it work by the end of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Heat up the hot glue gun at this point.
So, Josh, do you, just in terms of time, I'm just giving everyone a time. We are at 12 minutes to 8. Have you got a little bit more time, or are you in a rush?
No, I can go a little bit longer if you want.
I think we usually, I mean, recently we've been running over a little bit, haven't we, Colin?
Yeah, about 15, 20 minutes or so. But, like,
Yeah, that's fine.
we definitely... it's, again, like, wherever we can get to. I'll give you guys you guys can, well, I took it off, but this is coming together. It's going to be one I'm not going to finish in its entirety today, but I've got pretty far. I like all the little turrets and satellite dishes I've been hooking up on here. It's pretty cool. I need to go to the mail. Here we go. Download all. Save them all.
So, Colin,
Yes, sir.
we're focusing on minis today. So does that mean we're in mini season? Are we going to have a couple more mini painters on in the next little while, or what's coming up?
I mean, I would love to. There's you know, there's a ton of folks that we could have on here. I mean, truthfully, it would be great to get Chris on here and chat about his process. Like, it would be great to have Chris from Might and Magic back on here. It would be cool to have several different folks on here. I'm all about doing some mini stuff because it's something that I don't know, I love painting minis just as much as terrain, and that's it's just so much cool detail that you can help bring to life. And then again, like, you get a little bit of the terrain craft too, because with the base and stuff, that'd be a cool one too. Like, not only can Chris has a lot to talk about from his technique with the miniature paintings, but I don't know how much you mess around with your bases there, Josh, but like, you creating custom bases, he really enjoys quite a bit too.
We saw several cool bases today.
Yeah. Those really make it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do. Again, it depends on what I'm planning on doing with the miniature. Although recently I've been putting a lot more effort into just all my bases.
Mm-hmm.
But especially if it's something that's for like a competition or something, I tend to put a little bit more effort in and do something a little bit more scenic. But like all my salamanders, I keep putting those on lava bases, and just changing those up, putting different like layers of rocks and different heights of stuff on. Like you say, it's kind of like a little mini terrain build in itself.
The salamanders,
100%.
the orange lava, that's just a really good contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, so.
Yeah, a lot of people because a lot of people put salamanders on lava bases because their home planet is like a volcanic planet. And a lot of people just sort of go, I don't want to do that because everyone does it. But if you do it right, it looks really cool because of the colours. Like they like pop off against each other really nicely. So I think they look cool anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Like,
Yeah, that's it.
All right, almost got this sent in. I got almost gonna have these images ready to pop up here and share with everyone. Some really cool stuff today.
So John Hosenfeld, who's been on the stream before, he's just saying he likes to do both terrain and miniatures, and that way he doesn't get burnt on one. So burnt out on one. So like, he'll spend a bit of time on his minis and then go back and create a bit of terrain.
more power to you.
Yeah.
awesome.
So I was just thinking, yeah, maybe I might message Benji and see if he'd be interested
Oh
at
yeah,
some point.
have him send him our way. Like let's get Benji on.
Well,
I had Benji on one of my streams. He's a great guest. He's very well behaved.
so it's I mean I have just ordered the Fellowship set, Games Workshop of the Fellowship. So 4 hobbits, Gandalf, Legolas, Aragorn, and Boromir. And yeah, I think if we had Benji on and maybe focused on some Middle Earth stuff, that would be really cool for me.
Wait,
Are you trying to steer this towards Lord of the Rings? I'm shocked.
do you like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
Michael?
weird. I never knew you liked Lord of the Rings. That's so not you.
New information.
Oh dear, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Why is it not letting me save?
I mean, you got to
these?
admit it would be fun though.
Super fun.
It'd be super fun, and I'm all for it. That'd be great. I might try to create, go on Hero Forge and create. Maybe I'll recreate like Gimli or like one of the hobbits. That'd be kind of fun. Or yeah. Maybe or another character. Could be anyone. Maybe I'll just pick some random. Maybe I'll pick the bartender at the Prancing Pony from the movies and recreate him.
Oh yeah.
Because why not? Dude, what is it doing? It's not letting me do that. Oh,
So you're
man.
You're looking. It looks like you're being really strategic with that texture paint. Are you just choosing specific panels in specific areas that you want to pull that out, or is it just an effort to not lose that detail?
Yeah, pretty much. Don't want to lose the detail. So the symbols, I want to try and leave those because then when I paint it, they will be getting like a bit of a glowy effect on them.
Sure.
Either that or I'm going to push them out of the wood so that there's gaps. So that when I put a light underneath, it'll shine through those gaps. So I'm not sure yet. But yeah, this is a longer process than I kind of expected. I'd forgot how much detail was on the kit because I bought these ages ago with the intention of doing this, and then like you do, you buy something and then it goes in a drawer and then that's it. So I kind of forgot how much detail was on them, and I don't really want to lose too much of it if I can help it. But it's fine. It's nice. It's methodical.
Yeah, they're very detailed kits. They're beautiful kits.
Yeah, they are. We've got the the pictures streaming along up there from recent stuff. Everything from Josh as Sir Robin in his production of Spamalot, which is probably one of my personal favorites. That's up there. All the minis look great too, but it's a great shot from the show. And then Tina's got her Warhammer terrain build that she's been working on up there. That's coming across right now across the stream as well. And then I don't know why it's sideways, but my bug-eyed elf ranger with his beady eyes. He looks like he's he can see through time.
He's seen some stuff.
He's seen some stuff. He's a little gnarly and nommed out. Oh my goodness, I love it. Oh man. Let's see. I'm trying to find my buddy Chris Fort sent pictures too, but it's not saving on my phone. So I have no idea why that's happening. I have space. I'm gonna try to get his. He's working on some are they ogres or trolls? But he's working on a kit. He's working on kit bash and some stuff, and they're a work in progress. They're pretty cool. Wanted to share with you guys. You guys would dig them. Everyone would dig them. They're really cool.
I'm kind of curious about how many people in the chat today are either painting minis as they listen along or building something. So, like, if you are painting or building something, just let us know in the chat.
Yeah, always anxious and excited to hear what y'all are working on. It's pretty. Like I said, I had a blast just cruising and hanging out on Josh's channel earlier in the week. A lot of fun.
Josh,
You're gonna make me blush.
if all, at the end of the day, Josh, the other great thing about painting minis is that you can sell your mix paper as fine art or something like that.
Funny how you're looking at the old palette. No, don't put that one on.
What happened?
Oh no! Oh no!
What happened?
I'm not gonna say just in case someone hears and watches back, but I'll. That was the secret photo.
Which one?
I can't say.
Oh no. All right. Well, what are you talking about? Like, there's nothing. Golly. Let's do this.
If Elston's still here, he's gonna go mental at me.
Oh no.
What has a photo come up that
Nope.
wasn't supposed to?
All is well.
No, nothing happened.
Everything
I just
is
overreacted.
brilliant.
Whistles and looks in the opposite direction.
It's all good. Like, oh look, that slideshow is over now, and it's back to my screen. Oh brother, oh good grief.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Jeez, you have to blame it on me. Like, what do I have to do? You'll just have to let me know. Hopefully that doesn't. It's not.
That'd be fine.
Thank you, Josh, for coming onto the stream one time.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, brother. Good grief. It's so bad. I'm so sorry.
So
No,
just
that's
to say to all of our regulars on here, just make sure to head over to the Pickle Jar and give them a sub for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually super close to hitting 1,000 subs now as well.
Yeah, I had a look there, man.
We're very, very happy with that.
Speaking.
not that it actually changes anything, but
right. Still doing the same old thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of 1,000 subs, that's something that happened this week. My friend Michael's channel, Nat One Videos, just passed the 1,000 sub mark. Congratulations, friend.
Thank you very much, man. It's cool. It's actually it's awesome. A bit mind blowing, really. It's awesome. It's all happened very quickly. But what I will say, Josh, is that what you'll probably experience is as soon as you hit that sub, and then the numbers just really start to go up. So since Wednesday, I hit 1,000 on Wednesday, and then between Wednesday and today, I've got another 70 something.
Oh wow!
Wow. So if you go on,
I just think that there's. I mean, I think when people watch YouTube channels and stuff, like there is a little bit of a crowd mentality to watching videos and stuff, and people, I think, without even thinking about it, they do look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of get involved with what other people are doing as well. So I think maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, maybe. So if you don't mind me asking, how long did it take you to get to the 1,000 subs? How quickly were you growing before hitting 1,000?
I started my channel in July.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like for the first month and a half, I was doing time-lapse drawing videos, and then I veered off into I kind of do a lot of different hobby things, and then I started putting up a few wood carving videos, and that seemed to get a little more traction. And then my wife is my DM, and she asked me to build a few little pieces for Dungeons and Dragons, and I specifically made a furnace forge, and I designed it based around the Skyrim furnaces in Riverwood. I don't know if you play Skyrim.
Yeah.
I did that video and I got 300 subs in 2 days.
Wow.
It just went up, and and then it's up and down, yourself, from putting videos. Like one day you're gonna get a certain number of views, and then the next day you do a video and it goes up. This week's been good. This week's been better than average, and then but I did one video which was probably my thing that really got the most of my subs was I did the Amon Soul. I built Amon Soul from the Lord of the Rings from scratch. And
did you know that he was a Lord of the Rings fan?
It's been mentioned once or twice, yeah.
Well, pretty much nearly everything on my channel is Lord of the Rings based, but it's not going to be that way forever. I mean, but it's obviously, I mean, everyone does what they love, and I think that's what
important.
people enjoy. Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
I will say that, like, I think, I don't want to say gimmick, but to a certain degree, a couple of my videos have had an element of a gimmick nature where I kind of knew in the back of my head that a lot of people were going to like it if I posted it in the right Reddit forums. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I 100%. So I've had a couple of videos that have done that. So most recently was the Die Hard diorama that I did, and I did that expecting to just get, which I did get, a lot of people arguing in comments on like Reddit and Facebook and stuff as to whether it was a Christmas film or not. But it worked as expected, and it did really, really well. As a video.
See, the thing is, I have got absolutely no problem with posting slightly gimmicked videos and also slightly clickbaity stuff if you are enjoying what you do. Like, you have to love what you're doing first of all. Like that's the first part of the call, and then I'm happy to build anything. I mean, this week I am building something with a purpose for a friend who is really into a specific computer game. But I am expecting that because this computer game is pretty huge, I will have more places to post it. So this video that I'm doing this week could potentially do well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you're aware of all of these things as you're creating a YouTube channel, because at the same time as creating the piece, you're actually trying to create content. You're trying to create something that people enjoy. You know what I mean?
This is it. This is something that I've especially recently trying to do a little bit more. This has turned into like a really weird deep dive on content creation. But
that's part of what we all do, though, man. It's part of the thing.
Yeah. So like, one of the things that I'm trying to do more of now, like when I was first doing miniatures on the channel, I would do like a Let's Paint series, and there would just be loads of different videos, and I would just basically record me painting a miniature from start to finish, and I would just sort of do a voiceover talking about what technique I'm using and what color I'm using and all this sort of stuff. And some of them did okay, some of them did not particularly okay. And I sort of looked at them and I'm like, these are a bit boring to watch because it is just me painting a miniature. So now when I do that sort of stuff, I'm trying to sort of, and I've got, like, I've spoken to, do you know Luke from Geek Gaming Scenics?
I've spoken to him once.
Luke APS, as he used to be.
He helped me out with a YouTube thing for lighting. So yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, he loves his lighting and his cameras. Mm-hmm. I chat to him quite a lot. I got introduced to him sort of via the Chile Wargamers guys, and now sort of chat, and we've got plans to get together and do a collab this year, again, COVID permitting. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that he sort of said to me was, you need to sort of try and tell a story with your videos, like give people a reason to watch, even if they're not. Because the way that I was doing stuff before, people would only watch me paint in a miniature if they were going to paint that miniature and they wanted some tips or advice. Mm-hmm. Whereas other people, that if they weren't going to be painting that, then it's of no interest to them. Whereas if I can try and sort of tell a story, is how he phrased it, then you can keep people's attention even if they're not particularly looking at painting that particular model or anything.
100%, man.
Makes sense.
But I think as well, you, like, for me, like, you've got to resign yourself to the fact that some videos are going to do great, some are not, and don't feel despondent about the fact that you've got some videos that don't do so great. You like sometimes whenever I'm doing a build, I know in my head and in my heart that this video isn't going to get very many views, but maybe in 2 or 3 weeks time, I'm going to do a video that is going to get a lot of views. So this is still good content, and somebody out there is going to get something out of it. So it's still worth doing, So like some of my, like I did one recently, just mini flags. And I knew in my head, as like, okay, the majority of crafters are probably going to know really how to do this kind of thing. But I still think this is valuable to someone who's just started. They've never done anything in the hobby before. So I'll just do like a little kind of basic tutorial on this one. And then doing that less complicated video gave me the time behind the scenes to work on a more complicated build that takes more than 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Some of my builds are quite big, and like I can't squeeze all of that work into 1 week. I have to spread that over 3 weeks. So, yeah, there you go.
But then,
Anyway.
that's it. Sometimes you can't judge whether a video is going to do well or not. Then, like the diorama that I did, I thought maybe this will get a couple hundred views. That'll be it. And it just kind of exploded. The video that I did that came out yesterday, again, I thought this might get a couple hundred views, and that's like just rocketed past 1,000 in like less than a day. So it's. But then there's other videos that you think this is going to do really well because it's topical. It's sort of, it's something that people are going to be interested in, and then it just flops. So it's hit and miss. But yeah, you're right. You can't let the occasional bad video get you down too much, because
no, it's I think the important part too, like you guys have both been preaching, is to like, always the constant trying to improve the content, right? And like, make it so you are telling that story, right? Make it to where it's something that's entertaining and enjoyable. But I don't know, I think first and foremost, if it's not something that you love, you can't hide that. You can't. No, you can't. You can't hide that.
You've got to be interested in it.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think some of my favorite content on your channel, Michael, isn't necessarily associated with terrain at all, right?
Yeah.
I think my favorite video that you've produced so far is the one where you're creating you're finishing up the walking stick with for your father for Christmas.
Yeah, the wood carving. Yeah,
the wood carving. It's beyond, like, it's I don't know. That's a glimpse into who you are as a person, and I think that's equally as important for the viewers to get to know the content creator a little bit as well, which is one of the reasons I like live streaming so much. Yeah,
I'm glad that one turned out good, because I had to make it that week to get it ready for Christmas.
Well, it was great, and again. And Amy put this in the comment earlier, is, talking about your ability to tell the story and bookend, shows your discoveries, your responsiveness. Oh, the responsiveness to comments, like, she loves that. That's true. Engagement with the community is important. But then the way you're able to just tie that story in, and the discussion about Gandalf's riddle, right? And all those things and why they're important to you. And that all tied in beautifully with the story of why that build was happening that week. And it wasn't a how-to on carving. It was just it was that's not what the video was about that week. It was great. It was lovely. So
it's weird. I feel like we're segueing off, maybe veering off a bit.
Oh, that's all right.
Say this, and then we'll come back to what we're doing. But at first I thought my channel was going to be a speed drawing video, like time-lapse drawing video channel, and then the wood carving thing happened. I love wood carving. I just I spend a lot of time whittling, and I think it's actually now going to be more terrain and building miniatures kind of channel. So, but anyway, all that aside, what are we doing, guys? Let us know how these builds are going.
Where are you at, Josh? How's yours coming?
All right. It's all built. Where's my? Oh, it's moved over there. Yeah, it's all built. The camera seems to have disconnected for some reason.
Yep.
Right,
I didn't even notice
give me a
that.
second.
I've been texturing away.
Oh, there it goes back. Yeah, so obviously it's all built, and I've got the texture all on the top, which looks a little bit of a mess at the moment. But once that's dried and sprayed, and I can get some paint on that, it's going to come out quite nice, I think. The sad part is, it's like you look at it and it's like, oh, it's got loads done there, but I've got all the sides to do. So maybe we'll not celebrate just yet.
Well, that's
do you
all right.
ever use, Josh? Do you ever use with mini painting? I literally don't have a clue about this, but with terrain building, I use the hairdryer. I know Colin uses a hairdryer, and Daniel, to speed up the process. Can you do that with minis in the same way, or no?
You can do, yeah. Obviously, don't get it too close. But yeah, you can use hairdryers to speed up like the drying and stuff. This stuff, to be fair, seems to be setting pretty quick. Like I wouldn't be able to paint this until I've put the stuff across all the rest of it anyway, just so that it's all done at the same time. But yeah, it seems to be drying pretty quickly. And for miniature painting as well, like a lot of the time I do a lot of wet blending and stuff, so I tend to just paint while the paint is still wet anyway. Either that or I'm doing batch painting. So by the time I get to the last model, the first one is dry again. So I tend not to bother with the hairdryer, but I know a lot of people that do, especially if they're just working on one model or if they're doing like a speed painting thing or something.
Daniel.
Oh, yeah. Let me swap cameras really quick. So, that's what I got. Turns out when you rush, you don't do math very well. So a couple of my pieces didn't fit as I was building it, but I've got a fairly symmetrical thing. And then I had to just scrap my roof because I did my roof wrong, and I was taking I just took a piece of poster board and put a cap on it, and then started sticking drop off from the cuts, right? So every single one of these things that gets cut out has a little piece that falls out. And so since my roof didn't work, I just started taking pieces that fell out of the thing and started trying to build my own sort of free-form hieroglyph thing, which immediately went off center because I'm not a robot, which is why I use robots to do all my work for me. But yeah,
that looks awesome, man. I mean
yeah, you say it. We're thinking the same thing. Like, how impressive to like design it and build it all in like 2 hours. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking next level. I'm just like thinking, so yeah, you should sell that shit now. Like, get the plans, stick them online so people can make their own.
Well, and that unfortunately that's fairly niche. I mean, how many people want a Necron thing that also own a laser cutter to cut it? So
fair enough.
You could cut it and sell it.
That's true. That's true.
So that'd be baller. Let's see. I'm almost done with my texturing. It has to dry, but I've got. Oh yeah, I'm getting it all over my hands here, but I've added a bunch of the Vallejo texture paste as different accented parts you guys can see along the side there. But I'm gonna go back with the same. Maybe like, I don't know, I may do a green on it. I don't know what I'll do on it, but I'll pop it with some more color on here to help bring this thing to life. But pretty
So, Tina's asking what Josh uses for the texturing.
I think it must be fairly similar to the stuff that you're using, Chris. It's Darla and Rowney is the. It's just texture paste, and it is essentially just. I don't really know what it is. Let me have a look, see if I can see what's in the. Yeah, it's a gel matte medium, and it dries like really, really tough, so you can sand it down if you want to a little bit.
Oh, nice.
You use it for like filling in gaps and stuff, but also if you put it on and like leave the texture on there, obviously it creates a nice bit of something for when you're dry brushing over the top of it to pick up little bits of detail. That's because the issue that I've had with like MDF kits in the past is that they're flat.
Yep.
So when you look at them, they don't. Obviously, I use the term realistic very loosely. But, they don't look realistic because they're just like nothing is like completely flat and nice and neat and stuff. So I figured if I'm gonna have a go at doing some terrain stuff this year, then I want to try a few different things and if I can make these kits look a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, that's. I think they're a great same thing because I've looked at them before at the gaming store, and I'm like, oh, those are cool for like line of sight, and like they look great on the table. But then I'm my brain of course is looking at it going, oh, but it could be more. Like how I'm immediately thinking like, what would I do to like make that adjustment? So, or what would I do to enhance it to be on the tabletop? And I think that texture paste is a really good idea, Josh. That's why I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. I think it'll be a great way to add some contrast to the piece. So super cool. Wow. Well, we got quite a bit done today. I like super major kudos, Danny, on you were like, I'm just gonna design it and cut it. Like that's when you told me you were gonna do that, I was like, that is amazing. I was like, worthy of a crazy craft on this stream for sure, my friend.
I mean, it took a little bit more concentration than I think it normally takes for me to like knock that out. So I was not the chattiest person today. I recognized that as I was going, and I was like, when was the last time you said a sentence, Danny? Oh, I don't know.
That's all right. You had bold, ambitious plans, and I think that's what's so cool about the hobby, y'all, is different approaches. Right? You don't have to take the same approach. You can take different pathways to achieve your goal. Like there's no one way. Everything from buying the MDF kit and having that be something that you alter to grabbing whatever recycled materials you around you to try to transform it into the Cyber Monolith, or creating and designing your own from the ground up. So I think that's a pretty wide base that we covered today on how to build some Warhammer terrain. And again, any terrain, like it can be anything. You can literally just take something and start throwing it together and see what you can come up with. I think my favorite part about the build today, the thing I enjoyed creating the most, are these little satellite dishes and the turrets and stuff. I really enjoyed those, but now I got to go back and figure out how to texture them a little bit more, add some texture to those guys too.
I think as well as the chat today, or sorry, as the builds today, I think the chat's been really good. Loads of great tips from Josh on just loads of great answers to questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there. I mean, for me especially, like mini painting is part of my plan one, so I'm trying to absorb this information. It's really cool.
I do my best. I mean, I'm by no means am I an expert. I still, I think everyone is really. Anyone that says they're an expert or that they know everything is severely deluded. Everyone is constantly learning with miniature painting, and as Chris just said, there's no right or wrong way to do anything, and that's the same for painting miniatures. Like, you can do it in one way, in one style, and it'll look how you want it to look, and I might do it completely differently. It doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong. It just means that it's two different approaches. It's art at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Art, and it's subjective. But yeah, happy to have been able to answer some questions and hopefully help out with people's projects.
Yeah, this is.
Has someone got fireworks going off in the background?
Fireworks?
Might be here. I heard a few bangs, pops, bangs.
Can't hear anything on my end.
No.
Nothing on my end.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's this has been a great stream, my friend. Thanks for joining us today, Josh. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much for having me. It's been great. It's been fantastic. I've loved it.
Wargamer Spud says, "I love Pickle. He is my hero and inspiration."
Aww.
Wargamer Spud is one of the three hosts from the Chilling Wargamers show. He's a great guy, and I love you too, Spud.
Yeah, you guys, everyone who, a huge shout out to everyone from the Pickle Jar community who came over and to spend some time and hang out with us and craft with us, or just hang out while we craft. We appreciate you having you over here today and hanging out with us. This is a great time to remind y'all, if you're new to the channel, be sure to type new in the comments below in the video below in the recording. Introduce yourself. Love to hear where you're from, what you're crafting on, and love expanding and keeping in touch with all of the community here at the Crazy Crafter. And then be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. Let everyone know that where to hang out. Like, you can spend, this is like perfect. We have the time zone covered. Like, Sunday mornings is perfect. Like, Sunday mornings, hang out with the Pickle Jar, and then the evenings in UK time, hang out with the Crazy Crafter live stream. You can get your crafting fix on Sundays. It sounds like for everyone. That'll be great. We're covering all time zones for the crafters internationally is what we're doing.
So I'm curious about something, Josh. So Pirate Queen Pickle says it's been a very different but very cool. So how so different? What are your streams normally like? How are they? What are they like in the chats and stuff? What goes on?
I think it's normally different because normally I talk a lot more on my streams, obviously. But it's been different because obviously my streams focus on, to be fair, they are on anything. It's just that I generally do miniature painting. And like I said, I'm only just sort of getting into doing some content for terrain and stuff. So I guess the terrain aspect of the shows is obviously completely different to what I do on my streams, and I don't know, it's been just as chill as my streams are. It's been nice and relaxed, nice and laid back. I think it's nice having quite a few people on. This is what we do for Chilling Wargamers is me, Spud, and Elston, and the three of us just
chatting,
just hang out. Sometimes we do a bit of hobby. Sometimes we just pick a topic and we talk about that. Like if there's something that's happened in like any rules updates or stuff like that, we'll talk about it. Or if there's been some sort of controversy, like a while ago, everyone was posting selfies with the pictures of the miniatures in groups, and lots of people were angry about that. So we had a laugh about that for a bit. So yeah, we just chill out on Thursdays. It's great. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it. When you start painting miniatures. No, definitely do it. Definitely do it.
Really?
It's great. Yeah, it's hilarious. So, right, the thing with that happened is some people get very angry at a certain group of people for no reason other than that they're living in the Dark Ages, basically. And
okay, so we're heading into controversial subjects here. Like, this is something that I have personally noticed about just observing channels and stuff like that there. The Warhammer community does definitely seem to have factions, and they kind of wore it out a little bit. That's what it seems to be to me. And that's another reason why I've never gotten into it, because I just want to be friends with everybody.
This is it. It's people basically, some people got very angry because it was one post in a particular group. It was a young lady had painted a model, and she'd posted it up, and she'd also posted it. Normally, you would take a picture of a model like in a light box or on your desk or something, and she'd not. She'd held it up next to her. A lot of people got very angry about that. So then, to react, all the really cool people in the group just started posting their miniatures, but as selfies. And the guys that did that were fantastic. It's so great seeing that sort of stuff. And they got really creative. Like, I saw one guy, like laid on his bed like this, like with his mini here. Like, you couldn't see the miniature at all, but it's just the sort of... It's just like, just let people be involved in the hobby and do whatever they want to do. Stop being so judgy.
Yeah. I don't understand why people want to stomp on other people's joy. It's
this is it always baffles me, but then I have to remind myself, this is the internet, and that's pretty much all the explanation you need.
Yep.
Well, is that a stream?
That's a stream. That's a stream, y'all. We're at the end. Thank you so much for joining us all today. And be sure, if you have not subscribed to the Pickle Jar, head on over to Josh's channel. It's linked in the description below of this stream. Give him a like. Give him a subscribe. Turn on the bell notification for him as well. Do the same for Nat One videos as well. Onwards and upwards for his channel. And if you have not done so yet either, for the Crazy Crafter live stream, be sure to subscribe to us. Definitely going to try to continue. This week was a rough week for me on this end, and I didn't get to streaming during the week, but I'll be back at it this week, and I'll be sure to post up when I'm going to be going live. We'll see if I'm hoping by the time I'm thinking it's going to be Wednesday, because I want a little bit of interim to finish up the cemetery, and I want to do a little. I want to debut.
Really want to zig a zig.
Yeah. I would. What I really. That's it. What I really want to do.
Comedy timing.
What I really want to do is give the cemetery a nice little capstone, as it were, when we finish it off and move into some other stuff. So there we are. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this week. We'll see you next Sunday. Until then, be sure to craft your passion daily. Be well, stay safe out there. Josh, thanks so much. Not the first time, but not the last time, for sure, my friend.
Oh, fantastic. It's not gone too badly then.
Yeah, no,
it's been great, man.
All.
Really cool.
All right, y'all.
Really, thank you for having me.
Yep. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you guys next weekend, this week as well. And Josh, I'll definitely be seeing you on Wednesday. I'm gonna come crash and hang out with you again on Wednesday. It'll be fun.
Fantastic. I look forward to it.
All right, y'all. Be well. Cheers.